The CIA's secret LSD experiments on American citizens. A man crashed through a New York hotel window in the middle of the night. Officially, it was ruled a suicide, but inside the room were CIA agents, hidden documents, alcohol, and one terrifying question the U.S. government spent decades trying to bury. What happens when intelligence agencies start experimenting on their own people? The story began during the Cold War, when Washington became obsessed with one fear above all others: mind control. The Soviet Union had nuclear weapons. Communist China was rising. American intelligence officials believed enemies were developing techniques capable of controlling human behavior itself: brainwashing, psychological manipulation, chemical interrogation. The CIA wanted its own version first. So in the early 1950s, officials launched one of the darkest covert operations in modern American history, Project MKUltra. Most Americans had no idea it existed. Hidden behind layers of secrecy, shell organizations, fake research foundations, and classified budgets, MKUltra expanded across universities, prisons, hospitals, and military facilities throughout the United States. Its mission sounded simple on paper: find ways to break the human mind. But what happened inside the program crossed lines many believed the government would never cross against its own citizens. CIA operatives secretly administered LSD to unsuspecting people. Some victims were prisoners. Others were psychiatric patients. Some were ordinary Americans sitting inside bars, restaurants, or hotel rooms with no clue they had been drugged. The agency wanted to observe fear, confusion, paranoia, obedience. One operation turned San Francisco apartments into CIA surveillance dens. Prostitutes hired by the agency lured men into hidden rooms while officers watched through one-way mirrors. Drinks were secretly dosed with LSD. Reactions were recorded like laboratory experiments. The government called it research, but many victims never consented, and some never recovered. As the experiments escalated, reports described terrifying psychological breakdowns, hallucinations lasting days, violent panic attacks, mental collapses so severe, people struggled to reconnect with reality. Yet the program continued for years, because inside Washington, fear overpowered morality. Officials believed America was in a silent war for control of the human brain, and they convinced themselves almost anything was justified. Then came Frank Olson. Olson was a U.S. Army biological warfare scientist connected to classified military research. In 1953, during a CIA retreat, he was secretly given LSD without his knowledge. Days later, according to official accounts, Olson became unstable. Then, he fell 13 stories from a Manhattan hotel window. The government immediately labeled it suicide. His family was told almost nothing. But decades later, buried documents and investigations revealed shocking contradictions. Olson had reportedly expressed deep concerns about secret government programs shortly before his death. Some researchers believe he wanted to expose classified experiments. Others suspect something even darker. The CIA eventually admitted Olson had been unknowingly dosed with LSD, but by then, trust was shattered, and MKUltra was still hidden from the American public. In the 1970s, amid the chaos of Watergate and growing distrust toward federal agencies, congressional investigators finally uncovered fragments of the program. What they found horrified the country: secret experiments, destroyed evidence, human testing without consent. CIA Director Richard Helms had ordered many MKUltra files destroyed years earlier. Thousands vanished forever before investigators could read them. That missing evidence created a nightmare. Nobody knows exactly how many Americans were experimented on. Nobody knows the full extent of the psychological damage. And maybe most disturbing of all, nobody truly knows where the ethical boundaries disappeared inside the intelligence world during those years. Even today, MKUltra remains surrounded by secrecy, conspiracy theories, and unanswered questions. Some claims about the project are exaggerated, but the core truth is real enough. The United States government secretly drugged human beings in pursuit of mind control techniques during peacetime. Not enemy soldiers, not foreign spies, Americans. And the deeper you look into Cold War history, the more terrifying the pattern becomes. Fear gave intelligence agencies extraordinary power. Oversight disappeared. Secrecy became protection. Because once a government convinces itself survival matters more than morality, almost anything becomes possible behind closed doors. And somewhere inside forgotten archives, beneath black ink and missing files, there are still names we may never know. Ordinary Americans who became test subjects in a secret psychological war their own country refused to admit existed.